Hi everyone, I'm AndI. You can find me on Instagram at appleandigould. I am a homeschooling mom to 5, and I also like to help others keep their homes organized and tidy because that's one of my strengths. If you are joining me today, I'm so glad that you're here. And today I'm going to be talking about how a tidy living space and schooling coexist in our home. Some of the things that I'm talking about today you might already do, but hopefully you will be able to find something that you can walk away with today that will help you in your home. So thank you for being here. And again, I'm AndI, and you can find me on Instagram at appleandigould. The first thing that I really strive to do in my home, okay, when you have a project, there's nothing to do. You're just surviving. So if you're painting or if you're moving things around, just take a deep breath. Painting will finish. So one of the things that I really strive to do is just to put things away in our home. My mom raised me with the thought that everything has a place and you put everything in its place. And that just kind of stuck with me from a very early age. Things don't always have a place though, so sometimes you have to find a place for them. Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. So if you know your problem areas though, I have a tendency to let things pile up on my counter in my kitchen. If I don't know where it's supposed to be, I don't put it away, so I just stick it on the counter. But then that is cluttering up our space. Every time I walk into the kitchen, when we're cooking, when we're eating, it's constantly sitting there and it's filling up my mental space and I can't think clearly. Bookshelves are always needed. That's just the way of life. Our bookshelves are constantly overflowing, so I know the need of more bookshelves. But having those things that you know are your trouble areas and really trying to strive to make them not troublesome anymore. I really try to, at least once a week, I'll go through and any little things that are on the counter, I try and take care of them. I know it's just something about my personality that things are going to be sitting there, so I've just accepted that it's going to be there a little bit, but I really try to just tackle that area. Associated with that, my husband really likes the counters cleared off with no crumbs. So it's something that, it's two different things. The counters are one of his trigger spots, that when the crumbs are on the counters, it drives him nuts. So in me keeping the countertops clear, I'm also able to wipe the countertops off so that he's feeling relaxed. The toilets are one of my big trigger spots. I need a clean toilet. When I go to the bathroom, I want the toilet clean. So I know I need to take that upon myself, and I keep the toilet clean. It's not easy with 7 people in the home, but it's one of the things that drives me crazy. So learn what your trigger spots are and learn what your spouse's trigger spots are, and make sure that those two or three things are top priority. Yeah, even with 2 boys, it's ridiculous. So yeah, 5 boys, I can't even imagine. Let's just all take a moment for Amy, and bless you, Amy. So keeping your trigger spots clean, and it will help you. And the other things, I don't vacuum every week. Or I vacuum every week. I don't vacuum every day. I don't scrub my floors every week. Those are things that come up, and I'll take care of them, but keeping a tidy home will allow you to take care of those bigger cleaning problems when they come up. I'm notorious for vacuuming at bedtime. There's something about all the children are in bed and the floor is clear, so I can go through and vacuum the house really quick. So I like vacuuming at 8 o'clock at night. So you just find those things that will work. Yes, I don't know what it is about vacuuming at bedtime, but it's perfect. Yes, if my children had their own bathroom, I could just shut the door and never walk in there, and it would be great. Yeah, so tidying up at bedtime. We actually tidy up throughout the day, mostly at mealtime. So at lunch, I have the kids clean up before I let them know, hey, I'm almost done getting lunch ready, clean everything up. And so they will go through and they'll put all of their toys away. And then it's like starting all over again after lunch. Things happen, school, messes, whatever. But then at dinner time, we tidy up again while we're making dinner, the children are tidying up their areas. And then we do it again at bedtime. So having those little times throughout the day, and at the same time, I'll go through and I'll clear off our table, or we have an ottoman that we use for school stuff, and I'll clear that off before I start making lunch. So taking a couple minutes throughout the day will relieve yourself from sitting down at night thinking, oh my word, the whole day is gone now and I'm exhausted and now I have to clean up the house. So doing little bits throughout the day, it's a different mindset. You've got to get yourself into it, and maybe just start doing it twice a day. And then maybe you might be able to find that there's a third time throughout the day that you can just take a couple minutes to, let's just go through the home and just clean everything up real quick. So along with that, keeping or having expectations of others in your home. You're not the only person in your house. So you're not the only one making messes, and you need to have expectations of your children, and they need to know those expectations. So right before you need the space, that's okay. But if you're doing it when you're finished, you'll start to get into that routine of, okay, we're finished with this activity, we're going to take care of it before we move on to something else. That's something that we really push with our children is clean up what you're doing before you move on to something else. And we've done that since they were little. But having those expectations of your children, when you're finished eating, I expect your dishes in the dishwasher or in the sink or wherever your place is, that you want the dishes taken care of before they go on to something else. I expect your bedroom to be cleaned up before you come to lunch. Yes, my color rainbow books back there, I know, they're so great. So having those expectations laid out for them and sticking to them, and have those expectations up for yourself too, that you expect to clean these things, but you're not going to clean beyond that they need to step up and start having those expectations. And when your children are little, they can still have expectations put on them. When my children were young, babies, if I got a basket of toys out, when we were done cleaning, I would have them help me put a couple blocks back in the basket. They weren't cleaning up huge messes, but they also weren't playing with tons of toys. So just starting those things, planting those seeds when they're little, and helping to nurture those as they're growing. And if you're saying, oh, my children are well past that, you can still start planting small seeds. Start with small expectations, but stick to them, and then you can gradually grow into more expectations. So those are really the things that we do. So like I said, I don't have a cleaning schedule. I know a lot of people do, and that works for them. Well, and you've set up that expectation for your children. You've set up the expectation that I will take care of everything, and you need to start making sure that my mother-in-law taught my husband how to do laundry right before he went to college. And I took that and I said, no, I don't want that to happen. So my children help with laundry. They don't do a whole lot. They fold their own clothes. Sometimes I will have them put clothes into the washer or put clothes into the dryer. But those little things that they're starting to build up. White and children, it's a fun combination. Clean walls, I will say the type of paint you use really helps. The higher gloss you have, the easier it is to wash. We're in a rental right now, and it's flat paint, and it's horrendous. So if you haven't bought your paint yet, maybe consider not the highest, do not use flat paint. Flat paint and children do not mix. Eggshell. Yeah, I think we mostly used eggshell. So I know it's expensive, but when the kids get marks on there, it washes up pretty quickly. So yeah, it's very washable. So I know it's expensive, but it's worth it, because as you're going along your everyday cleaning, when you see in our old home, we had a door wall that the children would just grab onto as they swung from one room into the other. And every 3 months or so, I would just take a rag and just real quick wash it when I couldn't take it anymore. So that's the kind of cleaning that I'm doing when it just is beyond me being able to handle it anymore. Magic erasers are great, but again, not on flat paint. I use Norwex. If you guys have heard of Norwex, if you know a Norwex consultant, I really like their microfiber cloth. So that's what I use. So, you know, I was saying I don't have a cleaning schedule. I just kind of go when something starts building up. But there are those few things. I keep the countertops in the kitchen clean, and I keep the toilets clean. And those two things happen they're constantly maintained. And we make our beds every day, and we keep a tidy appearance so that mentally we can process when we're in our space. And it's not, the clutter isn't building up in our minds because it starts to wear down on you mentally. So work towards those things. Work towards having an organized, tidy space. Work towards picking things up as you go throughout the day. Find those things that will relieve the stress off of you and your family, and have those expectations of yourself and have expectations of your children. Positive expectations that, you know, like I said, if you're the one who's feeling like I'm cleaning all day long, I'm picking up everyone's messes, you've set up those expectations and now you need to change them. So start little. Don't expect there to be a huge drastic change overnight. Start with 1 or 2 small expectations, and depending on your child's age will depend on how rapid you can add to those expectations. So next week, well, you do have to be realistic. I feel like we've kind of hit the point of as minimalist as we can go. You know, there's things, my walls could be more minimalist if that was my style, but that's not my design style. So I'm okay with things hanging on the wall. But I feel like we've gone through so much of our clothing, of our items, of our toys, books, and everything that we've kind of gotten to the point that there's probably not a whole lot more. 7 people, there's just going to be stuff. So, and it's okay. It's okay that my house doesn't look like a minimalist house. Yeah, you know, and it's going to look different for you. A minimalist lifestyle is going to look different for you having so many people in your family versus one person who's living by themselves, living a minimalist style. So, you know, you just have to adjust your expectations of what you want for your own family and what's going to work for you and what's going to make all of you feel comfortable. So next week, I've heard from several people, I need to thin out my children's toys. And this is something that I've done several times over the years. And I'm going to show you with my children how we go through toys and we pick out some to get rid of and we downsize. So I'm going to talk with you guys about that next week. So if that's something that is interesting to you, if you're wondering, how do I get my kids involved? Because that's one of the things that I really feel strongly about. Instead of sneaking in their room and taking things out, I want them to own, I chose to keep these toys and I'm choosing to let these go. So I'm gonna show you how we do that just with a simple selection of toys, just to give you guys an understanding of how we do it and how it works in our home. So hopefully today you found something that was helpful that you guys can use in your home to allow your family to coexist with a tidy home and living, because we're living in our home. So it's not going to be magazine perfect, and we have to remember that every day, that it doesn't have to be perfect because we're living here, but it can be tidy and it can be comfortable and peaceful. So I hope you guys had a great time chatting with me today. Thank you for your comments and participation with me. So I will see you all later. Have a wonderful day.